emotional who tend to get very high highs or very low lows. What to do with that emotion is to change it into love. Because when you find people who actually come into yoga, they're very passionate about life. So they get hurt with life very easily. They're extremely sensitive to what is right and what is wrong. And because they're so sensitive, when there's pain and injustice in the world or in their own lives, they get very angry. But this anger doesn't solve any problem. It just doesn't. Anger never solves a problem. So I often tell them, take this anger that you feel, take this anger and transform it into love and service. It's the only way out. Anger doesn't make you feel good and it doesn't heal. Now there's a different kind of anger sometimes that we need. Sometimes you need to be a little angry to move things. But these are very special occasions. And you have that also in the Bible, right? When Lord Jesus went to the temple and he saw that they were trying to make God into commercialism, into business. And he got so angry, threw all the tables out. And he said, what are you doing with God? You're making God into commercialism. Sometimes you have to have a child behaves really badly, right? Sometimes you have to punish them. Nowadays, don't punish your child. You have to sometimes if they're behaving really badly, because how are they going to learn? They're not going to learn. That's a different kind of anger. This kind of anger is you using it. You try to speak nicely, you try to teach people, and they don't hear you. Sometimes you have to apply a little anger, but this kind of anger should not be the one that is really hateful. It's a kind of anger to shift energy into the right direction. So this anger is full of love in order to shift energy. But the anger has to be, you have to be detached from this anger while you're getting angry. Because the moment you're attached to your anger, it creates another kind of scenario. So you have to know that you're applying anger to do something purposely, to make a statement, to move people forward. And this is very difficult to know. It takes time to know when to apply and when not to apply. Sometimes we're too passive, sometimes we're too active, And this is why the today's subject, which is breathe, inspire, and devote. Those three things will help you to make these great decisions, in your life. When to apply what. So breathing is the most important thing, first of all. It's more, because with the breath you can control the thought. The moment a thought comes into your mind, you're upset, you're angry, you're already disturbed, right? Now, it's very difficult to fight with the thought. In fact, you shouldn't. The more you persist, the more it will resist, and the more it will continue. So you have to take that thought, that beautiful, ugly thought, and actually just take a deep breath. And watch what the thought is doing to you, because it's only when you make friends with what you don't like that they leave you. You have to make friends with what you don't like. If you don't like something and you try to fight it, you give it more energy. You know now what you're doing. Congratulations. Ole just got a Peace Prize from Prague, so I need to... Oh no, you did the work. I just told you to do it peacefully, and you did. And you're doing that. And we have to congratulate that. We need people, he's into conspiracy theories, which does exist in the world. I mean, all life is a conspiracy. You look at politics and, I laugh at economics. And I think it's all man-made. I mean, what's in it? It's all to do with power and control, and sell some stocks now so people make big money and tomorrow it's all going to be okay. I try not to get too involved in that, because that's all prakriti. That's all nature. That will always happen. And it's always happened. There's always been conspiracy theories. And I often say, look at the Bhagavad Gita. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, which you should, it's quite an incredible text, about why Arjuna goes to war, and the higher self is telling him to go to war, and he's saying, why are you telling me to go into war? But it's actually the battle of the mind, the battle of the senses we're talking about. You see, it's our senses that move us forward to do things. How many times, for example, if somebody says to you, I ask you, would you like to get up at 6 o'clock tomorrow and meditate? What would you all say?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you would like to. I love that, yes, thank you. But the next morning comes, what happens? 6 o'clock, you would like to, yes, but you don't want to. Right? So there is this battle. I really, really like to. I really know it's good for me, but I really don't want to get up. So, and this is the time when you really need to, three things. You need to breathe. You can see the difference between the two things. So you need to breathe at this time. And you need to inspire yourself. Because without inspiration, you will never get up at 6. You will say, every night I'm going to get up at 6. And every morning you go, you know what, tomorrow. So you really need to find a way to inspire yourself so you do. So inspiration is really important. So how do you inspire yourself? Okay, I would like to, I can't. I don't really want to. Is by looking at the benefits, by constantly reflecting on the benefits. If I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, first my day starts so early. Yes, I'll feel tired. Tell yourself of the downfalls. I'll feel tired. I'll make all the excuses. But guess what? I'll feel wonderful. After I meditate, I'm going to feel wonderful. After I do some exercises, I feel so wonderful. See yourself shining. See yourself so happy that you've done it, inspired. And then my day is going to be so nice because I battled with my mind and I won. And I'm going to love myself for it because I won. So you inspire yourself 1 month before. You create these new waves and you create these new visions of this beautiful you getting up. Inspire yourself. So after 1 month, you're inspiring yourself. Then you decide the night before, tomorrow I would really like to get up at 6 and I am going to do it. I'm doing it. The moment you say I'm doing it, do not even give yourself the option of anything else. Don't even give it the option. It's over. The option of going back to bed is over. You have to cut it out. It's like any addiction. You just got to cut. But you prepare yourself so you can cut. And once you cut that one time, you're going to love it. But after 4 or 5 days, you're going to get back into your old ways quite quickly. So keep yourself inspired. That's the thing you have to do. Keep yourself inspired. And then if you lose the inspiration and you can see the inspiration being lost in front of you, I really am not inspired. Breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath with me right now. Just inhale. And exhale. Breathe. Hold your breath. And just let go. Nothing you have to do. Don't argue with your mind. Don't argue. Full stop. So let's try that again. Inhale. Exhale very slowly. Hold your breath. Open your eyes, and then you start your meditation again, and you start it like that. And you just say, there's nothing I have to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I've decided. The other option is out. There's no going back. I've decided. You do this long enough, then the habit will settle well in. Well in. And then when you don't get up that one day, you're going to feel really uncomfortable. Maybe you won't, maybe a few months later, you get up a little later. You'll still make sure you do the meditation though. And then as you get really good at it, then the meditation takes you into every single moment of your life. Because the most important thing, what makes you successful in whatever you do, is the amount of focus and attention you give it. Isn't it true? If you give something focus and attention, you will do it well. But if you do it haphazardly, what was I saying today? When you do a job too quickly and it's not done well, there's no focus, so neither do you do the job well, and neither does it come out well, and so you're left with a feeling of flatness, with a feeling of being unfulfilled. But when you're concentrated, and you're focused, every job you do, you will do well. And you will learn, because you're focusing. This is why in the 8 limbs of yoga, as we go deeper into the 8 limbs, we got pratyahara, which is sense control. Learn to control your senses, and we'll need that to decide what we really want to do, as opposed to, what we really would like to do, as opposed to what we want to do. Eventually, what you like to do and what you want to do will be one. And that's where the inspiration and the moment in between is so, so important. It's so important. It's so important. And that moment requires concentration. This is why in the 8 limbs of yoga it says, learn to concentrate first. Then meditation will come. When meditation comes, the state of samadhi comes on its own. It comes on its own. You can't make it happen. Nirvana comes on its own. So where we can really work up to is concentration. Now, if you concentrate on anything long enough, what do you get? What do you get? You really get to know the subject, anything. You want to study, for example, Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali, which most of you have done. So you study. Most people read it. The problem with most people is they study it maybe for 1 week or 1 year, and they really inspire themselves for 2 years, and then they leave the book aside. And they leave it aside. And then all the inspiration goes. Now, if you really concentrate and study sutra by sutra every day, even 1 sutra a day, you will see that your knowledge of that book, because the book is just words, but when you focus, you go beyond the words to the feeling, to the understanding of spirit, because this is the whole book of the map of your spirit, how to get towards your real self, your highest self. This is the map. You are not your mind. You are not your body. Why do you keep getting attached? Why do you keep getting attached? So when you focus every day, what happens? The book becomes you. The book becomes you. You become the book. You become one. That is the state of meditation then. Now you understand Patanjali. Patanjali is no longer the stranger that lived 4,000 years ago. You become the essence. Because when you focus on anything, you get to the bottom of it. And when you get to the bottom of anything, you come to the same conclusion. It's all consciousness. It's all consciousness. Anything you focus on, you get to the truth at the end. In the end, what is all this for? What are all these wars for? What are they for? These people don't have consciousness. But when you have consciousness, you understand that all Prakriti is a play, all nature is a play. And that way you step away, and when you step away and don't get emotionally involved in it, which is the non-attachment, when you can step away, you can do the right thing. You can always do the right thing for this earth, for the people around you. Even though it may look wrong to everybody else, you will be doing the right thing because you are not attached to what happens. You are just doing what is best for consciousness. And what is consciousness? Nobody really knows. It's an energy. We all know in one way. All of us do know. All of us do know. Because all of us, when we're in a state of peace and joy and harmony, we feel really comfortable and good. That we all know. And we all do know when we're in a state of discomfort, anger, disharmony. We're not in a good place. That is so simple. So we do know there is some energy or some essence to consciousness. And that consciousness, it comes from a place of love. That's why you feel so good when you're in love, and you feel so good when you do loving things, and you feel so well in yourself. Why else would you? Why else would you feel good? Why shouldn't we all feel good when we get totally drunk or whatever you do, or high? You feel good for that moment, temporarily, and then the next day, what happens? You feel horrible. You feel horrible the next day. So that's obviously not you. It's obviously not you. If it was you, you would feel great the next day. So it's really very simple. Spirit is very simple. And this is why when you just breathe, you keep it so simple. The mind stuff doesn't roll and make all its movies and comments. That's mind stuff. Just breathe and keep it really simple. I am consciousness. I am peace. I am consciousness. By not doing what I would like to do, I am losing my peace. I am losing my peace. Nobody else is losing their peace. Whether you meditate or not, doesn't matter to me, but it matters to you. Why? Because you're learning to focus. And when you learn to focus, when you learn to concentrate, you live a better life. You just live a better life. And then eventually, after many years of this practice, like I said, it becomes part of your everyday. You benefit. That's why people who meditate say they live much better lives afterwards. They can do much more than they could ever do. You know, I think I've told you this story about the Canadian family I met in India. Maybe some of the old ones remember this story. When I went on pilgrimage with my father to India, we went to this ashram called the ashram. And it was all Hindis, he was only speaking, all the satsang was in Hindi. I didn't really understand Hindi. I was brought up in Hong Kong, I speak Cantonese. Unfortunately, my Indian isn't very good. So anyway, but you could feel the energy of the place. And amongst all the Indians, there was just one Canadian family from Canada. And they were the only one who had like a really modern house, a little house, but a modern house with an English toilet built there, you know. And the rest were, you know, there's holes in the floor, as you find in India, in the villages. So anyway, they came to me, the children came to me, and the parents came talking to me. And they were so happy to see, I'm Indian, but from the Western world. So they were so excited to speak to me. So anyway, they said, please, we love visitors. We missed speaking in English. We're always speaking in Hindi. Please, can you stay one night with us? I said, no, I have a room with my parents in the hotel. So, but they really pleaded. So I said, Dad, Mom, can I stay with them? I said, you're crazy. You have such a nice, comfortable room and you're staying here, but stay. So I said, yes, I do. And I want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I want to meditate because that's the time they get up and meditate. So anyway, while I was having dinner with them, I was asking them, how did you come from Canada? Because they were highly intellectual. The father was, wow, his language, he was writing books, translating all these Hindi books into English, but you could read the language, the education was phenomenal. So I said, why have you come to this little village here? And the father said, well, you know, I was working in Canada. I had a business. It was successful in the early years, and I got very stressed. I got very stressed when we had bad times. I'd work harder. My wife would get angry with me. I was never spending any time at home. And it was stress at work, stress at home, stress at home, stress at work. And I just got crazy. And suddenly ashram, this man from this guru from this ashram, was invited to Canada by one of his friends. So his friend said, come to the talk. So what am I going to do with spirituality? I have so much work. How can I leave my business early? But his friend really forced him to. And of course, when he got there, he was mesmerized by the peace and the silence. And what was he craving for? Peace and silence. And he hadn't known that peace and that silence for such a long time. So because he was very dynamic, he went to ashram and he said, I speak the Hindi language because, his origins were Hindi from his grandparents. They'd moved to Canada many generations. So they started speaking, and the 2 or 3 days he was there, he taught him how to meditate. And he said, he started to meditate. He used to work a 14-hour day. Within 6 months, he felt, one, he was able to let go, control of the factory workers, control of everybody. The business could not work without him, so he let that control go a little because the joy of meditation made him feel so much happier. 2, he could concentrate so much better at work. He could focus on his work, so the job that would take him 14 hours took him only 6 to 8 hours. So within a year, his business profited 10 times as much within a year. He said, but the money didn't make him happy as the peace did. He said now he didn't have the worries, but he wasn't getting that joy from the money. It just came. But the peace is what he couldn't, his wife was happier, his children were happier, everybody was happier, but he was peaceful. And he found what he called God. Before that, he was not sure. He was brought up with it, but prayed once in a while, but was not sure what this God was. And he found this peace, and he called this peace God. And he said, I want more, I want more, I want more of this before I die. So the following year, he got a lot of managers in charge. And then the following year, after the 3rd year, he sold the whole business, got millions, and told his family, we're all going to India. I'm going to live with my guru. And I'm going to help him because all his books are in Hindi. I'm going to translate all the books. I'm going to translate all his talks. There's nobody giving this to the Western world. I have benefited, and I want everybody in the world to get these books. In Canada. That's my dharma in life now. So he sold everything and moved to this little tiny kutir that I stayed in with one English toilet. Now he was very happy with his wife, but his children were pining. They were pining for the life back in Canada. So they were complaining to me, So why should I stay? This is my father's dream, not my dream. Because they hadn't got it. You see, they hadn't had his experience with all the stress yet. They were young. So I knew why I had to go there that night. So I said to the father, it is your dream. Your wife is so happy to be with you. It's not your children's dream. If you force them to stay, they will hate you for it. Why not send them to boarding school in Canada? Do your family and friends say, yeah, lots. Why not send them there? That way everybody's happy. But I'm giving them, Nalanie, the best knowledge in the world. I'm giving them meditation, but they're not ready for it. They're not ready for it. They need to go through life. They need to experience. They need to come back to it. But what you've done is you've given them such a good seed. They've seen how you've transformed. But they need to live a little of teenage life. They're stuck in an ashram all day. Everybody's chanting. They want to live. They're not ready to give it all up like you are. So he agreed to send them back. So I think that was why I was invited there that night. But the story is, this is what it does for you. So when you inspire yourself, wow, all of you want to know God in your own language, whatever you want to call God. We all know there is something greater in all of us. you know. So whatever you want to describe it as is really irrelevant. But it's this feeling of peace. It's this feeling of stillness. It's this feeling of peace. Everything else goes. The difference is, I was talking to David just earlier on. I said, I know few people who are ill, really ill. And the person that who's most comfortable with the feeling of, I'm going to, as you get older, you meet lots of people in your life that are going to die, or are dying around you, or getting very sick. This year I've had many people I know getting very sick. It's life, right? And the one that's always been generous and loving and working towards meditation is the one who says, I'm really not fearing this death. My family are fearing it for me. So I want to do something to prepare my family. I want to do something. The attitude is different. The other one is saying, oh my God, all my things, what are going to happen to my things? But you're not going to take your things with you. You're not going to take anything. At that moment, you can't realize that you're not taking anything, that you're leaving it behind. So one's full of fear, and the other one is full of excitement at the world beyond this one, because we all have to go to the world beyond this one. So one lived beautifully, and one is so attached to all the things and still not living beautifully, and hopefully we can help her to die a little bit more beautifully. Hopefully we can teach her how to die and let go. But while you're attached to the things, but that's the whole idea of the yoga practice, right? Do it while you're young. Understand these principles while you're young. Then, because when you're not attached, when things come and things go, because things will come and they will go. That is life. Nothing is forever. So when the time for them comes for them to go, you are ready. That's all. And when they come, you are also ready to receive them with love and joy. Because it's also important, my master told me, Nalanie, it's not only important to learn how to give, it is also important to learn how to receive. How many people, when they receive good things in their life, go, do I really deserve it? Of course, you've got it, but no, it might go tomorrow. So enjoy it now. Why worry about tomorrow? Everything will go. And this is the constant lesson about life. And meditation or concentration on God, or whatever you want to call it, the higher self, reminds you how to live and concentrate on now. This is too petty. I'm much higher than this. I'm much better than this. I must be gentle with myself. I'm a child of the universe. I must love myself. Don't get into victim mode. Don't get into feel sorry for me mode. There is nothing to feel sorry for. Nothing to feel sorry for. You have a life. If you made a mistake, drop the mistake and change it. What's all this, oh, poor me syndrome? Don't be pathetic on yourself. Don't fall short. You were born to be divine. This is why all the masters say, scream awake, aware, be aware, I am divine. We're all divine. Wake up, wake up, wake up. They all tell us, wake up. Tomorrow you're gone. Really, tomorrow you're gone. So wake up, arise, awake. And then you start to live as if every day is a treasure. Because it is a treasure. Good or bad, it's still a treasure. You get some good stones and you get some bad stones. But it's a treasure. And that's the whole idea of living spiritually. That's living spiritually. All the rest is to do with nature and materialism. And we're playing this great game. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the materialism. But no, it's not yours. And this is where the breathing helps. Breathing helps. Because sometimes trying to do it with your mind is very hard. So breathing and inspiration, inspire. And what about devotion? When you devote your life to something, when you love it, devotion, what feeling does it bring up in you? Devotion, love. Love. Bring up devotion. And if you had really many things that happened in your life that has made you unhappy, when we're unhappy, we restrict the love, right? What happens? We do this. I don't want anything, and I don't want to give anything. I don't want to receive anything. That's the worst medicine for us. That's the worst medicine. The best medicine is, okay, I've had a lot of pain, give me love. I need a lot of love. I need a lot of inspiration. I need to get out. I need to climb out of the darkness. That's the right medicine. Help me up. Lift me if you can't do it yourself. And if you are one of these people that just don't like to ask for help, then ask the higher self for help. You'll never go wrong. In fact, you'll get the best help. How do you ask? Help me to be the best I can. Bless me so I can understand and go through this bad phase. Good comes from you, bad comes from you. It all comes from you. Sort it out. I'm not in control. Let go of the control. Let go of the control. Nothing is in our hands. Got it? I want to control only this moment. That's constantly bringing the mind back. And that's why breathe. Because when you breathe, you stay in the moment. That's the only thing that belongs to you. Now, only thing, next moment doesn't belong to you anymore. This moment does. So this moment you focus. This moment we enjoy communion. In this moment we're joyful. We lift ourselves. This a moment. So just be in the moment. When people can't be in the moment, their minds are going everywhere. So they're neither in that moment or this moment. They're in no moments. So being in this moment is where we are now. We attach ourselves too much, like I said last week, to the TV screen. We attach ourselves to it. We think that's the reality. The reality is this moment. The only people ultimately in this world we can help is ourselves. Because if you don't help yourself, how are you going to even help anyone? Ultimately, the divine is in you. It only can awaken in you. When it awakens in you, then you become a light. You know the story of the candles that Gurudev tells. It's a lovely story. We love to tell it to kids. This is really beautiful. The story of the candles is they're all in a dark room, all these unlit candles. And they've heard from legends. There is a light somewhere. There's a light somewhere. But all these candles are in a dark room and there's no light. And this goes on for years and years until one day one of the younger candles said, it's really crazy. We're all sitting here asking for light and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for light. But no light comes. I am going to go out of this dark room and look for the light. All the elders, are you crazy? Are you mad? You don't know what's out there. There's so much danger out there. What if you die? I said, better to die out there than to be stuck in a dark room for the rest of my life. And when I get light, I'll come back. Positive. They're all trying to stop the candle, but the candle said, I'm not going to die here. I lived in darkness all my life. I'm not going to do what you do. So it walked away from that dark room. And as it walked, it was really scared the first few steps because so dark. Couldn't see a thing, couldn't see where it's going. All the doubts, all the fears, all comes up, right? When you first walk into the unknown, what happens? Everything will come up. But remember, what he liked to do became what he wanted to do. So they both merged, and the fear did not overcome that merging. So it continued, and suddenly in the distance, he saw a light. So he was so excited. There really is a light. It's not a legend. It's really true. There is a light. So he walked to the light, and he saw this big candle with this big flame. And he asked the candle, where did you get your light from? I want some of that light. And the big candle said, all you have to do is rub yourself against me and put your wick against mine and you will have light. That's all you have to do. And he goes, are you sure? But if I go and take that light from you, what will happen to your light? He says, nothing. I still have the same amount of light. Really? Really, it's that simple. So he steps up and he gets light and he's lit. And he goes, thank you so much. I'm on my way back home to give it to my people. So he walked into the room and he lit all the other candles. Just by one light. And this is why this is our work on earth. To this light, how many people you see in your life that are miserable, unhappy, scared, fearful, panic attacks, how many people? And you can tell them, oh, there is a God. Really? Where? But if you're a light and you carry the energy, yes, I know there is suffering, but this is the way of the world, and you carry that faith and you carry that light, you give them light, you give them faith, you show them there's a new way to go, there's a new groove, they can hope, they can dream again. Otherwise, the whole life on earth, which is short, is going to just disintegrate before their eyes in no time. Soon they're all going to get old. We're all going to get older. We are older. Some of you are very young. But I must say I love getting old. It's quite fun. It's quite fun. It really is quite fun. Next step is death. It's quite fun. New adventure. It's all quite fun. It really is quite fun. Because that's the next step. It is going to be that. So I'm going to dance into death. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to die. No. Because I lived a beautiful life, but I can say that because I believe I lived a beautiful life. And the question you have to ask yourself is, can you say that? So when it comes, you can say, I inspired myself, I took time to breathe and relax. I spent time with my spirit. I always knew I was going to die one day, and now the time has come. I'm looking forward to the next adventure. Adios, amigos. Till we meet again, because we will. Do you know why we will? We're immortal. We don't know in which planet, but we certainly will meet where. I don't know how, I don't know when, like the song says. But there's so many planets out there. Have you seen how many millions of planets, how many millions of galaxies? We don't even know where we're going to end up. We only know as we think, so become. So if your mind is in a higher vibration, you'll go to a higher vibrational planet. Quite simple, common sense. If your mind is in a lower vibration, where will you go? Lower vibrational planet. Not heaven or hell. As you think, you become. That's all. And then in that planet, you didn't learn your lesson in this university, as our master would say, university. So you have to come back and learn. Pass the test, and then you don't need to come back to this painful planet. But I think it's quite joyful too. I would never not have wanted to be born, so I must have asked to be born. Painful or sad, I asked to be born. So as we think, it becomes. So that's the reason why breathing is so, so, so important. And many of us, just when we get a thought that disturbs us, we let it ride, we let it run, we let it run, we let it run. Stop, breathe. Constantly tell yourself, breathe. Next thing, inspire. Okay, why am I doing this breathing? Oh, I'm so irritated at the moment. Because I want to live a good life. I want to enjoy this. Okay, that's why you're doing this breathing. Yeah, and why do you want to live a good life? Because I'm the only one to experience this. If I'm miserable, it's me. If I'm joyful, it's me. And guess what? When I'm joyful, I can reflect, like that candle, give light. When I'm miserable, I can't even give light to myself. Talk about anybody else. What's the use of me being on this earth? I might as well go. There's no use for me. Because that is the only spiritual value we have. There's nothing else of any value in our life. All this is very beautiful, and it's been made this way so people could come here and be peaceful. And it's fulfilling its purpose. It is. Isn't it nice? It's fulfilling a purpose. What is the purpose? Peace. What is the highest purpose in your life? Peace. So do not sacrifice that peace for anything. Because anything, you'll be separated from it anyway at the end of the day. This is why Sri Patanjali talks about non-attachment. So constantly enjoy the love, enjoy the peace, but know it all goes. The danger is getting attached. This is the human frame of thinking, we love to attach ourselves. What if I don't have this tomorrow? Not the end of the world, you can still breathe. Sometimes people ask me, what will you do when this happens or that? When it happens, I'll look at it. It's not happening now. They say whatever you think that's going to happen with fearful thoughts, 75, 80%, even 90% never happens. Haven't you noticed when you get scared and you go to bed at night? It used to happen to me in the old days, panic attacks. And you go to bed at night and it rolls in your head and it rolls in your head. And it really is so bad. You think if you were in hell the whole night, and then you get up in the morning and go, what was all that about? Really, it's really quite nice here. It's a beautiful blue day. Haven't you had that happen to you? What was all that fear about? Was I scared? Nothing's happened. It never happened. It's just when you're in bed and it's dark and you're alone, even that little fear will become so huge in your mind. So this is why also, when you're going through that at night, take a deep breath and say, none of this is going to come to pass. So if you want to carry on with the fear, do. The method I used to use in those days is always have my mantras next to me, or I talk from my guru. I used to, in those days, Walkman. Now I don't really need it, but I love it anyway. I can sleep with mantras all night or listening to him all night. I sleep so well. But so I used to do this all the time, just listen to his voice. And then one by one, with time, the fears left me. Why? I was telling every single cell of my body, training every single cell of my body to understand that this is temporary. I had to devote time. If you don't devote the time to that knowledge, if you don't have the deep knowledge and understanding of that knowledge, then the breathing also doesn't work. So you have to allow that truth, because it's the truth. It really is the truth. And every time you run away from that truth, you go back and you say, but it is the truth. There's nothing else that is truer. There are only two truths we know in our lives. And that is, everything changes. And two, we die. The two things we know for sure. When? We don't know. But we don't know those two truths. So everything else is to be juggled, to balance our life, to live in a state of balance. Juggle well. Juggle well. Think of good and bad as two balls that you just have to learn how to juggle and maintain in balance. But devote every day to some spiritual learning. It is really important to do this every day to maintain the concentration of the Divine Self. You will not understand that you are the Divine Self unless you train yourself every day. Train. All the scriptures tell us this. They all say the same. We come from consciousness. Science tells us the same. Everybody tells us the same. We say we are one with the universe. How dare you do that to me? So it's not lip service. It's getting it in here. Getting it here. Feeling it. Energy. Feel the energy. Feel the body vibrations. Feel the higher vibrations. They're light. They make you feel light. That's when you laugh more and you don't take things so personally. You can let go quickly. You can laugh quickly. That's when you know your energy is getting higher. You're not so stuck on, it has to be this way or it has to be this way. It just is. Life just is. It just is. Good. If you're having a bad day, it just is a bad day. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? You're having a bad day. Don't make so much fuss of it. You have a bad day. In the early days when I had a bad day, go to my room, close myself in, listen to sad music, make myself cry, finish, done with it, end of the day, I come out. Don't disturb anybody. Don't disturb yourself. Don't disturb the world. Don't disturb the world, because you will regret it. When you're feeling bad and you go out to the world and blame everybody for your bad day. You have to live with feeling bad. Do you really want to live with that feeling? It's a horrible feeling, isn't it? You know, when you get angry with somebody and you shout at them, yes, you may have shouted, but you have to live with you. Yuck, who wants that? It's a horrible feeling. They try to control other people to be what you want them to be. You may be doing it for their best, but if they don't want to listen and you keep hammering, you're doing something good for them, but they don't want to hear. How do you feel at the end of the day? Horrible. You feel like you're an egg. Haven't you learned your lesson? You tried, you told them once, twice, 3, 5, 6 times. That's it. You're not going to learn, you're not going to learn. It's not my place to teach you. Drop the control. Drop the controls. They have to learn, they will learn. Everybody has their time. Everybody has their space. You just have to want it enough. You just have to want it enough. What do you want enough? What do you want enough? What do you want? Peace, peace, peace. And that's where, the Bhagavad Gita says, when you start to practice this kind of focusing, concentration, more and more and more, it will shine from the gates of your body. The gates of your body, your eyes will shine, your skin will shine, your love breathing, those are your skin. Because you will shine from within, because the light is within you. That is how you know. And you will laugh, laugh, laugh. When you hear yourself too serious all the time, complaining too much, you're far. Just admit it, I'm really far. I need to work on myself a little bit more. I'm complaining, I don't have trust, I don't have faith. I'm complaining, I'm really far. And work harder. The days when I feel really far, I really work hard on myself. I will stay up all night if I have to work on myself. I will. I'll say, mind, you're getting away from me. You're starting to go outwards. I stay up 3-4 hours and I'll meditate and repeat the mantra, laugh at my mind, have a good fun with it, and after 3 or 4 hours it shuts up. And that's it. Okay, goodbye. Tomorrow's a new day. And then it doesn't dare bully me again for maybe another 2 or 3 years, and then starts its work again. But that's the state of the mind. You just learn to work with it. And you can see it's trying to control you. It wants you to do what it wants. But remember what I said in the beginning, what would you like? Take control. What do I like? And take control of that, what do I, I'm not talking about this I. The I like to get up at 6 o'clock is for the highest good. So it's really quite selfless. It's a selfless I. Because if I get up every morning early, it's good for me and it's good for the world. And if I don't, what I want to do is be lazy. It's not good for me and it's not good for the world. No benefit. And that's where the knowledge comes in. That's where you use the knowledge. So, when you're in a dilemma, take a deep breath. Get inspired. Get inspired. All the masters, I'll say, ask yourself, who am I? 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 Am I Nalanie? Nalanie is a costume. So who am I? Am I my mind? My mind is connected with everything on this earth. All the things to do with this earth. So who am I? Who's the one that's the energy that makes this mouth speak, that makes these eyes see, that makes these ears hear, that makes this heart beat? I certainly don't do it, so who is it that does it? Who keeps my heart beating all the time? I'm consciously not doing it. Are you? None of us are consciously doing it, so who's doing it? Who's winding up this machine? So who am I? What do I belong to? Where am I going to? Where have I come from? Then, already you will want to stay awake. Because all these things they're very deep questions. And they're the truth. And your soul loves you to face itself. The spirit loves for you to face itself. Because that's the whole journey. We come from spirit, go back to spirit. This is individual. So sorry. No more individuality. So long as you want individuality, we will have many, many lifetimes. No problem. But if you live good lives, then you come back, because this earth runs on cause and effect. This is the law of this earth. Good deeds, bad deeds, bad deeds, mixed deeds, mixed deeds. Everything you put in, you'll get back. So if you want to invest in the next life, and be really good in the next life, do the good deeds. You will have to come back to face them also. It's not about good deeds and bad deeds. It's actually, in the end, letting all of it go. That's the ultimate state, letting all of it go. But if you want to experience more, then do a lot of good deeds so you get a good body next time round. As Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, when he's so confused, what if I don't get where I want to get? By the time I die, I neither enjoyed this earth or I neither enjoy heaven. He said, no, don't worry. Guaranteed you'll get a good birth. That's all. Nobody who ever does good will come to any bad. As you sow, you reap. Scientific law, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's so scientific, this spirit. It's so and so simple. Simple. Fill your heart with love. Love yourself. I must be gentle with, can you sing it with me? I must be gentle with myself. I must love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. And that's the truth. Being born each moment is new to the spirit. Because the spirit is. Each moment is new to us, actually. The spirit's old. But each moment is new to us. If we are open to the newness. If we're not fearful, we're open. When we are fearful, we're closed. Because when you're in fear, you go like this. What will tomorrow bring? And guess what will tomorrow bring? More fear. Oh, but I'm not really frightened. Look at my body language. I'm really frightened. Do you see? Watch yourself. Watch your shoulders. Watch your spine. Watch what you're saying. Because the mind is very clever. It will trick you. So be really more clever. Learn about your body. Learn about how you move. Learn about what's your natural way of being. And learn when you hold yourself back. Because sometimes you can't know the mind, but you can watch your body and you go, okay, my body is telling me I'm really getting tense with my feet now. Somebody's carrying on a conversation. It's making me feel really uncomfortable. My feet are starting to really react, and so is my legs. Time, if I can handle it, stay, breathe, and smile. If I can't handle it, time to exit before I lose it. Got it? Your body will tell you. And you will know. When you're getting upset, the stomach, the hands, everything will start to react. Before you react, walk away or take a deep breath and smile. And lift yourself by yourself. Lift yourself by yourself. That's the best psychology. In the Gita it says, you are your best friend and you are your worst. Yeah, know that. You don't have enemies outside. The worst one is in here. Your worst enemy. That's your worst enemy. So know yourself well. Know your enemy. Know when they're approaching. Stop as they approach. Take a deep breath and ask them, you come to fool me again? I'm in charge. I'm in control. The I, the higher I, the God in you, the divine you, the one that loves the peace. I'm in control. That's where the knowledge helps. I'm in control. I'm the one that wants the divine peace because I am peace. I am divine. I am a child of the universe. I am a child of the universe. And then that thought will leave you. It will leave you. It will leave you. And then devote yourself to something wonderful. Devote. Spend time. Spend time. Spend time. Spend time with your spirit, spend time with love, spend time with people you love, spend time with happy people. They will elevate the mind, they will keep you in a good place. Sri Patanjali tells us, be friendly towards the happy people. Why? Because when you're in their company, you'll be happy too. So spend this time. Be in the company of the wise. Learn. Learn as much as you can. Grow. Share. And if you have the learning and if you have the gift, then your job is to share your gift. Share it. Upanishads say householders should learn and share. Learn and share. Learn and share. And that's the exciting thing about life. Every day it teaches us something new, something different. When we're blocked, we don't see it. We don't see it. We don't learn. When we're blocked, we're just like in this small self-centered world. Poor me, I'm the only person that's important. We're blocked. So open yourself. Go out to the garden, look at the colors, look at anything. Inspire, inspire, inspire. And fill your heart with love. Reality check. You know, every time, I always tell people when they say, oh, I'm really in a bad place, I say, thank God we're not in Syria. We're really in a good place. You're really in a good place. That's the truth. You know, thank God you're not in a war zone. Thank God we're not in a war. Be grateful for that. Is it so bad? As soon as you know that, it's not so bad anymore. Nothing is so bad anymore. And that's the wonderful thing about traveling to poor countries. It really is. I think once you have traveled to places where you see so much poverty, you will always feel rich for the rest of your life. You will never feel poor. Honestly. And this is the wonderful thing about traveling. While we're here in this affluent society, we forget. We just forget all the things. We're so lucky, we're so blessed. And the small things become big. And the small fears become magnified to huge fears that really, in reality, should not take so much of your time. Because life is more important than these fears. Because it's not real. It's so unreal. It's just you've blown them all out of proportion. That's all that's happened. So bring them back into perspective. Back to breathing. Simply remember to breathe. Many times in a day. Many times in a day. Stop at your computer. Stop when you're driving. Stop when you're cooking. Stop when you're working. Just to breathe and connect. Breathe and connect. I don't know how many times I do that a day. Millions, I think. The other day I had a dinner party and cooking really quick. I don't know how it happened because my niece came from London. She called, Nalanie, I'm here at the weekend, come over for dinner, the whole family. And so everybody said the food was delicious, but I don't think I cooked it. Because I did it so quick, and it was, because I had to make do with what I had in the fridge. It was a Sunday. And I just left the mantras on. So I was so deep into the breathing and the mantras and stirring the food that everything just finished really quickly. Do you know that feeling? It's, you know, when you're so concentrated, you know, and I was so happy, you know, Les said, you really cooked delicious food tonight. I said, you know what, I'm not sure if I cooked it. I think the mantras did. I'm really not sure I did because I wasn't conscious so much of the cooking. I was just concentrating on the mantra and, you know, curry sauce and spinach with cream, and it was all just mantra and cream and energy, and you know, I don't know how to explain it, but it was really nice, and I wasn't zero stress. It was just such a nice feeling. It was such a lovely feeling. And this is how we need to focus, concentrate, and it's such a simple thing, but it makes everything so full of life. So full of life. And you know, sometimes when people cook in anger, really our master used to say, don't eat that food. He used to say, do not eat that food. All the energy of that anger is in that food. You will receive it because we're energy. It's all, molecules and atoms, and it's all consciousness. It goes into your body. It'll make you sick. And it's true. And this is why he says, if you want to get healed quickly or somebody's sick in your family, cook the food with love. And you can heal them with that love. This is why in all traditions you have holy water, right? So, many times people come and they say there's negative energies in their home. And actually I learned this from my mother, but I never knew. In our tradition at home, my mother every single morning goes to the prayer room and she takes this silver, because again, colloidal silver today, they say is so good for you. Yeah. This real silver mug, right? And it has to be silver. And she still does it today. She puts water in this silver and she prays the whole morning with it. And then when she comes up, she'll feed each one of us, her children, this sip of water. And I didn't understand that. It was one Indian tradition. Still today when I go, every day I get that water that's been prayed on. And, and so this is the energy of love and prayer they put in it. You go to a church, you put your hand in holy water. Same thing, many traditions. They have the water because they knew all about this. And just over time we thought, oh, silly traditions. So many times when people come to me and they say, oh, they feel negative energies or ghosts or poltergeists, whatever in their house, I tell them, oh, you don't need to go anywhere. You just make your own holy water and you sprinkle in all the rooms. So what I get them to do is get a really nice clear blue. I don't know why I love blue healing. And then put it in the sun, because sun is energy. Tell them to put it in the sun for 24 hours. And then put their hands on the glass and just pray on the glass and say, may this home be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Say, Nalanie, why don't you come and do it? I said, no, because who loves your home more than you? You're the one, it's your home. You can love it much more than I will. So put your hand in the glass and learn to heal yourself. So you know how many people have done that, and they do the prayers and they sprinkle the house. In a week, they tell me everything's gone. When you put those nice thoughts into your body, what are you doing to your body? And if you put those negative thoughts in your body, I'm not good enough, I'm ill, I'm getting older, what's happening to your body? Recently I was in Portugal and we were speaking to Sotogrande and myself, She's 80 and she's getting a little older and she's had many accidents, etc. But she said, what do you think, Nalanie? Everybody says when we get older, our voice has to change. I said, why? Yours hasn't. You still have a very nice young voice. And she said, yes, because I said I will never want to have an old voice. See? Power of the mind. And she's 80. And I said, you don't. You listen to her on the phone. She's got a lovely young voice when she came here. Isn't it true? You were with her recently, right? She's a lovely young voice. She may be old, but she doesn't, I'm getting old kind of voice. Because she said, and she's 80. Quite something. She can take these gas canisters and carry them. I can't even do that. I find them really heavy. And she's there carrying the gas canisters. Oh, this one needs it. Getting up at 6:30 in the morning, running down and making sure that there's breakfast for everybody. This is what keeps you alive. She said, oh, in case the kitchen, I said, Silta, you don't need to do it anymore. The kitchen will sort it out now, But maybe that's what keeps her alive. This desire to make sure everybody is okay, Needed, want it. You need to feel needed, to feel alive. So be needed. Offer your help. Offer your love. And then it's a win-win situation. The person that needs you is so grateful. I'm so grateful for what you both did for me today. So grateful. And you are so happy you done it. Win-win, right? So it is like that. It is really like that. So that's why service, don't get so self-centered, all about me, myself. Get away from I, me, and mine. Get away from it. Get away from it. Get away from it. And when you see you're getting too much into it, you're getting too much away from your spirit, get a book, take out a spiritual book, go for a walk, look at the animals, be with your dog or your animal, they'll put you straight. They have an energy, they will put you straight. And then you get so, oh, why am I talking all this nonsense, So, with that, I finish my talk. So